Sister Jackline Danso, who is the regional treasurer here in Ghana. So thank you very much, Jackline.
Thank you.
I'm here again interviewing in the beautiful grounds of St. Louis Jubilee School in Kenton Kono, in Kumasi. It's like a botanical gardens here for anybody that hasn't been here. It's absolutely beautiful. So we have a little issue with some sound. We've got kind of a loud chainsaw in the background happening occasionally, so hopefully it's not picked up too much in the microphone. So I think I'll get stuck straight in because the chainsaw's quiet at the moment. So welcome, as I said, Jackline, and I've started every interview with each of the sisters. Just say, could you just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you were born, your family, where you went to school?
Okay, thank you. So I am from Nsawam, Adwejiri. It's in the eastern part of Ghana, the eastern region. It's about 30 minutes drive from Accra, but a different region. This is where my parents come from and where I was born. Yes, and I have 2 siblings. We are 3 in the family. I'm the firstborn, the only girl, and 2 other gentlemen with me in the family. Yes, and I grew up in Nsawam from age 0 to about 9 years when I was in class 5, when my mother migrated to a different region. She relocated, so I had to, when she was gone, I stayed with my grandma, let's say from basic 1 to class 5, and I had to relocate to be with my mother. So I lived with my mother in the western region part of Ghana from class 5 so the time I completed junior high secondary school, and I was admitted in a school in my own hometown in Nsawam Senior High. So I came to Nsawam Senior High to continue with my secondary school education.
Very good, very good. So none of those were Sister St. Louis schools. So I guess first question is, what inspired you to be a sister, and then how did you join the Sisters of St. Louis?
Yeah. I think as a growing child, I had the interest in, I didn't really know much about sisters and priests. Yes, but I had there was this passion of living, consecrating my life. Like I wanted to be with, work with the poor people. I remember in class 6, when my class 6 teacher told us about Mother Teresa, the story of Mother Teresa of the one who founded the Charity Sisters. Yes, when she told us about that, I had that desire to become like this woman, but I didn't know much about sisters. So when I migrated back to my hometown in Nsawam, one day I attended church, and it was announced that there are some sisters there coming to meet those who are interested in becoming sisters. In fact, I didn't have any knowledge of what the sisters are. So I was going home when a friend invited me. She knew about sisters, so she said, let's go to join the group and listen to what they are here to say. So I went with my friend Angela. We went there, and the sisters already had a group, old aspirants in the parish. So the sisters were 2. There were Sister Lucy Mary and Sister Mercy Boateng. So Sister Mercy took the old members, and Sister Lucy came to the new ones. So as we listened, and among the group we were about 9. No, we were 12. We were 12, and among the group, I was the only one in senior high. The rest were in basic school, some in primary, some in JHS. So after the meeting with the sisters, I loved their presentation. So sister gave us a brochure which had an address, and at that level I really loved reading and writing a lot. So I wrote a letter to the Sister Lucy in Accra, and she was in charge of vocation promotion in that community, and sister responded, and I was very happy. I had a letter from her, so it continued. I will write and she will respond. So sometimes during holidays I tell my mother that I want to visit the sisters, and so I would sometimes say I'm visiting my friends. I didn't really tell my mother I wanted to be a sister, so she didn't know, but she allowed me to go to the sisters. So that is when I started visiting the sisters in Accra. And when I went there, I really loved the way they do their things, their prayer, going for mass and community life. I didn't really know what it meant, but I loved the way they lived their life, and I felt that this is where I want to be. This is how I want to live my life. So as after senior high, I told the sisters that I want to join them to start my formation, and I also informed my mother. Actually, in our account setup in our tribe, it's difficult allowing a girl to become a sister because it's the women who bring home babies. We are matrilineal, so being the only girl, I was a bit afraid that my mother would not allow me. She will not permit me, but there was nothing like that. She said that if that is what I want to do, I should go for it, and I wrote my application letter to the sisters, and they invited me over for a program. A sister was having a final vow, a celebration of final vow, so I was invited to come to witness the program. And this was my first time traveling from Accra, or my hometown, to Kumasi. So that was my first mission. Can
you remember whose final vows it was?
Yes, I remember it was Sister Mercy Boateng and Sister Joyce a year. Yes. So I met, as I was visiting the community in Accra, Sister Joyce was a member there, so I knew her before, but I didn't know Sister Mercy. But when I came with the sisters to Kumasi, that was when I saw Sister Mercy and a lot of the sisters and aspirants and novices. Yes, and it was a lovely moment for me.
Was it very affirming for you then? I think that
yes, it was really, because this was the first time, in fact, taking part in the whole ceremony. I felt that, when will I also be here? Yeah. When will I also reach this stage? Yes. Wow. So it was very much a lovely and a good experience for me.
Were you still in senior high school at this point?
I had completed senior high, awaiting my results.
Okay. So you were busy that period of time.
Yes.
Trying to figure out what you wanted to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So you made the decision to join.
Yes.
Yeah. After that summer, or after your exams.
Yeah.
And so do you want to tell me a little bit about, I suppose, your journey, the postulancy and the novitiate?
Yes. So when I decided to join, I wrote my application, my parents' consent from my parish priest and parishioners, and I submitted, and I was asked to, when the sisters accepted my application and everything, I prepared to come. And when I came, I went to Imbrom community. That is where we have our postulancy. So I did my postulancy in Imbrom. Sister Josephine Apieje was my postulancy mistress, and I started postulancy with 2 others. So I had 2 other mates in postulancy. Yes, and I worked in the Jubilee School here. I started as a class attendant, so I was assisting the class teacher at the Jubilee School, and it was really wonderful for me to have that bit of teaching experience. I've never been a teacher before, but I think it's something that I wish I would do in future. So I was so happy to be here, to be a class attendant, and sometimes when the teacher is not there, I become the class teacher. Yes, I have to stand in, and I really love the experience in the school.
So then you went on to the novitiate, and then you had some community experience while you were in the novitiate. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, in the novitiate, we had our novitiate in Ghana here, and we were with other community sisters. Yes, so in the novitiate, we had a lot to learn about community life, about relationship, about scripture, prayer, self-awareness, development. There were many things to do, scripture and all the rest, prayer and many other things. So it really informed and formed me, and I was beginning now to know what I have come to embrace, learn about religious life and all those stuffs. And the sisters in the community they were very helpful, because we mingled with them. We were with them together at mass, at prayer, in the community, at table. So we enjoyed this community novitiate life. It wasn't solely novitiates. Yes, there were community sisters, so they were there to guide, to journey with us, and to also form us. So it wasn't only with the novice mistress. The sisters were also there supporting us in our formation.
And where did you go for the two community experiences you were?
Yes, so the novitiate, the first year is normally spiritual year. Okay. So in the second year novitiate, we go for community experience. We call it apostolate after 6 months in the second year. So my first apostolate was in Oku, and I was so happy going to Oku. Why? Because as an aspirant, I had the chance to visit Oku, and I don't know, I'm a kind of person that love rural communities. Though I was not brought up in a rural community, I think I love the mission there. So I was happy being there, helping the youth in the church, singing in the choir, reading as a lector, and partaking in all activities. And I had the opportunity also there to work at the clinic. The sisters there, they ran the clinic and the school. So I had 3 weeks to spend at the clinic, where I worked at the OPD. I observed what they do, and sometimes they allow me to partake, to practice. An area that I really loved was a dressing room. In the morning, the villagers will come, those with dressing cases, they will come, and I learned a bit of dressing, and it has really helped me in my work as a teacher. And with the kids, is to attend to the kids when they are hurt or they have some injuries. So I learned a lot from there, and I also went to consulting room to observe what was being done there. And I went around the various units in the clinic, the small clinic. So I did that for 3 weeks, and I went to the primary school. The school also, I was a kindergarten teacher. So there too, the children were very lovely, and I love teaching. I would teach them poems and songs, rhymes, traditional songs, and dance and art and all the things. Yes, and I really enjoyed being there at the school also, my experience there. And also the larger community, they were very welcoming, and they were very appreciative also. Any little thing that the sisters were doing for them, they really appreciate that, and I love their enthusiasm and their support to the sisters in the community. We do community visitations a lot over there during on Tuesdays and Sundays. Tuesdays are their resting days. They are usually they are mostly farmers, and Tuesday is their day of rest. They don't go to farm. So on Tuesdays we will visit them in their homes, and they are happy to see us, just to check on them and to be part of them, and they are happy about it. Yeah.
And where did you do your other community experience?
And as that was the second community experience I did in Imbrom.
Okay.
Then there I stayed in Imbrom as my community, but I worked in an orphanage.
Okay.
A government institution. Yes. So in that place, I did 3 weeks in a government institution and 3 weeks with the Mother Teresa's, the charity sisters, who are very close to Mbrom.
Yes.
Yes. So I went to these 2 places to work in the orphanage, and I think that was also one other experience that really was touching and really taught me a lot, because as I said at the beginning, as a growing child, my classes teacher told me about Mother Teresa, and she is into orphanage, in love with taking care of the vulnerable, the rejected and dejected, and these ones on the street. So I really loved that. So as I went to these 2 orphanages, I really enjoyed that experience, and I learned a lot.
So you got a lot of experience on both your
yes,
experiences, which
I
is fantastic.
did. I did.
So I suppose fast forward a little bit to your first profession.
Yeah.
And then you went to college.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So after my first vow, I was posted to Accra community for 1 year, where I did my community experience in a school as a volunteer. So there, after the 1 year, I had admission into the college. So I went to the college for 3 years. Yes, so 2 years we did on-campus studies. We did studies on campus for 2 years. And in my 2 years in the school, I was the catechist. So there is no catechist for the school. It's the priest, the chaplain, who does catechism to students who are interested of getting baptized and confirmation. So I was made as a sister. The chaplain asked that I help in catechism. So I taught my own colleagues and some seniors too. So I had a catechism class. That was my apostolate. And also some Sundays, I also helped in the teachers in the school, their children. We gather them, those who are Catholic, they come to church. We gather them and we teach Sunday school. So I also had the opportunity to be a Sunday school teacher on campus. Wow. Yes. So after the 2 years, we had 1 year off campus experience, where we were posted into schools to do practicals. So there too, there was a parish. It was a parish school. So in the school, I was a teacher in class 2, basic 2. I assisted the teacher in basic 2. Then also at church, I was a catechist. They had a catechist. So I assisted the catechist in teaching catechism, and also on Sundays I taught in Sunday school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got your diploma in?
Yes. Education? So yes, I did I got diploma in the education after the 3 years training college. Then I was posted to Mampong community as a teacher.
Okay. Yeah. And you were there for 5 years?
Yes. Yes. In Mampong community, I was there for 5 years as a class 3 teacher, and also in the school. During that time, the government decided to take off religious and moral education from the curriculum. Okay. So as I went to the school, the faith-based schools said no. So in the Catholic school, it's a Catholic school, they were still teaching, but some teachers felt reluctant to teach the subject. So I took it upon myself to teach from class 1 to class 6. Religious and moral education. Yeah, so I will arrange with the teachers. So whilst I am in their class, they take over my class. And also there was the teachers were not interested in creative arts. They felt that they are not art teachers, but all of us had a bit of training on art, but some felt that they don't have the skills. So when they found that I had the interest in arts, they will borrow me. They will come and ask me to assist in teaching. So I also taught creative art from class 1 to 6. So the teachers come to my class and I take their class. Yes.
And while you were in Mampong, you studied to extra studying so that you could
yes.
with a degree in education.
Yes. So whilst in Mampong, after 3 years in Mampong, and that was all. I asked permission from the region to do a top-up degree, which is for 2 years, and it was a distance education, which was done at during weekends. So I picked the weekend program for 2 years, and I had my degree. Yes.
So it's a busy 2 years.
Yes, it was.
Working Monday to Friday and
yes.
studying Saturday and Sunday.
It was.
Yeah.
And it was around that time that I made my final vow.
Okay.
After final vow, I was asked to be the vocation promoter for the region.
Okay.
Yes. So I started doing vocation promotion, and in this 5th year, I was asked to I was transferred to Oku.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So
back to Oku.
Yes, and Oku.
I think Oku had a special place in your heart.
Yes.
Hoping to be posted there.
Yes.
5 years previously.
Yes.
Did you want to tell us a bit? You were there for 9 years.
Yes, I lived in Oku for 9 years. I told you earlier, Oku has been a dream, a place that I have always dreamt of going. So being posted to Oku, it was like an answered prayer. Yes, I felt that maybe my 6 weeks being there wasn't enough. This was the time for me to go and do all the unfinished businesses. Yes, so I went to Oku, and in Oku I was the head of the school. So I didn't really teach in the school, but as Oku is a very deprived area, it's not easy being there. Sometimes teachers go out and they have no means to come back, and I have to go to their classes to support. Yes. So this is how. So I took care of the kindergarten, the primary, and the JHS. And we had about over 500 children in Oku, some coming from different villages around Oku. Some will walk about 3, 4, 5 miles to come to school on foot. And though the journey is far, they love coming to school to learn. Yes. So, yes. My experience in Oku was also a very loving experience. As I shared earlier on, I continue with the community visitation on Tuesdays after school and also on Sundays after church. And I was a lecturer in Oku. I joined the choir to sing at Mass, and I was also in charge of the women group in the church. So after Mass, I will mobilize the women and we give them talks on different things. Yes, scripture, on life, on personal hygiene, different issues. Yes. So, and also because I was the head of the school, I had upper hand on the children in the church. So I could gather them, then involve some of the sisters in the community to teach Sunday school. Sometimes I was also part in teaching the Sunday school. Yeah. And we also had a youth group.
Yes. Wow. So it's busy time.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Oku, I tried also to mobilize the men, but it was difficult sometimes. Yes, it was difficult. I tried, but it didn't work. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what was the most fulfilling part of being an Oku? I think there's something about Oku, any sister I've spoken to, I think even when they leave, a little part of their heart is left behind in Oku. What was the most fulfilling, or what is it about Oku that gives all the sisters such great joy? Because it's a very remote part. The road in is desperate. You need a 4-wheel drive to get there. You're isolated in the rainy season. You can't get out because the roads are flooded. And you know, the community is quite poor. So what is it that is so special about Oku?
What is it? I think for me, Oku is poor, and I feel that the people there, they need a lot of help. So, and because the place is difficult, nobody will want to go there. And there's a lot of work to be done there. So I feel that there is that need to share with the people the bit that we have, to share with them ourselves, to share with them our life, to share with them what we also have. So that's kind of that is that need. So that is one. And I also feel that the place is a very calm and peaceful place to be. The people are welcoming. We have different Muslims are there, and Oku people are people of different tribes. We have many different tribes, but they are able to stay together as one. So that oneness, and our Sisters of St. Louis, we stand for this oneness. So that oneness, that love, that bond among them also really it's a very good thing, that it also encourages us to be with them and to support them and help them. Yeah,
that's a lovely way to put it, for sure. But I suppose in a way, all good things have to come to an end. And now you're currently on the leadership team. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, I'd say you probably would have stayed in Oku forever if you'd had your way. So just tell me a little bit about that process of becoming, you know, being a member of the leadership team, and then also just give us an insight into leadership.
Okay, so for me, coming on leadership, leaving Oku to come on leadership was a bit blow. At a point, I felt that there was nobody to go to Oku. So I remember in our previous chapter, my name came up for leadership, and I had an excuse that there is nobody coming to Oku. So I don't see anybody who is ready to take that apostolate, and I felt that if we are not there in Oku, the school will collapse, because the sisters are present there is really doing a lot. It's difficult to be in Oku. So for where we have taking the school to, we have to continue, and if we don't have a sister to take care of the school, all our efforts will be in vain. So at that time I gave an excuse, but I remember a sister whispering, one of the leaders who came to observe the discernment, said leadership is also another ministry. And it kept ringing in my ears. So in this last chapter, when my name came up again, I felt that I should allow my name to go. If it's really God's, leadership is a call, and it is God who calls. So if this is where God wants me to be, I will allow myself. And I allowed it to be. I thought I would be a member, not a full-time member on the leadership. But fortunately or unfortunately for me, I had to be the treasurer, and the treasurer is a full-time work. So I had to leave Oku now, and I took it as a new ministry that God is offering me. So I accepted it gladly, though I had Oku in mind. I accepted it gladly, and I moved. My community now changed from Oku to Mampon. And being on leadership, for me, in the first place, it's a a way of learning. Yes, there is a lot to learn on leadership. And for me, leadership, we are lucky to be in St. Louis. St. Louis leadership is not like you are on top and others are down, you are superior and others are inferior. We are all sisters, we are all equal, we are human beings, and this is your turn, this is your time to help to lead the group. So for me, leadership is like humbling yourself to take the mantle to serve the people you live with and you work with. Yes. So but being on leadership, it has not been easy, because there are a lot of things for me to learn. In my role as a treasurer, I have so many things to learn on accounts. I'm not an accountant, but I have to do that, so I have to learn a bit of accounting, a bit of these computing skills, to improve on my computing skills, and to improve on many little other things. Yes, on leadership. Yes, to be able to help me on my leadership role. And so I am doing the treasury work and aside project work. I'm in charge of projects on the leadership, so sometimes I travel a lot to the communities to see what is happening in the community, and every sister has a problem. Every apostolate, there are issues, so everybody is bringing different issues, and you have to think through, you have to see to all of them, you have to see to it that everything is done. So we do a bit of what we can to support the sisters in the various ministry. Yes.
So how long have you been on the leadership team? Is it 2 years now?
It's not up to 2 years, but almost 2 years. Almost. Yes.
And the term is?
The term is 4 years. 4 years.
So you're nearly halfway through.
Yes.
And it sounds like you feel like you still have a lot to learn.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those roles, really, where I'd say you're constantly learning. Yeah, wow. And what's the biggest challenge then of being the treasurer? Probably just the newness of it and the learning, or is there any single thing that's difficult? Is it trying to be?
Okay, I would say that the first challenge is movement, and I'm based in Mampong, and Mampong, in my role as a treasurer has to do with the banks. And Mampong have only one bank and other rural banks which we don't operate there. So most of the banks are in Kumasi. So very often I have to travel down to Kumasi to do some bank transactions and also attend to sisters. So the movement, I would say that has been maybe a challenge. And also again, as you visit the various communities and sisters come up with their various needs for the communities and also their apostolates, it's a bit of headache where you look ahead and the support is not there. Yes, but the mission has to go on, work has to go on. It's a bit of challenge and frustration, and sometimes you sleep, you wake up and it's like, where are you getting support?
Yeah. So it's kind of, you're living out of a suitcase a lot of the time. Yeah. And like Jackline, especially for the last 2 weeks, you've been with me and Mark the whole time. So I've certainly got a bit of an insight into the life of a treasurer, and just your ability to kind of just be with us and help us, and your insight into all the different places we have been to has been really remarkable. So I've definitely got an insight in the last couple of weeks into your life anyway.
Yes.
And you've answered my next question, which was kind of what the challenges are. So, I mean, I suppose, what are your hopes for the future, either as treasurer or just as for yourself on a personal level, or for the Sisters of St. Louis?
My hopes is that as I look around our communities, there are a lot to be done. So it's my hope that we will get support to continue with the things that we want to do to help our mission, to help the people we work for and we work with. So it's one of the hopes, and also my hope that St. Louis, Ghana will move forward. We will grow in terms of our numbers, so we will get more young ones to join us to continue the mission, that the mission will move from strength to strength. Yes.
That brings me nicely onto my last question is, for any young woman that's thinking of joining the Sisters of St. Louis, what would your words of advice be to them? Like, why should they join the Sisters of St. Louis and not some other congregation?
Yeah, I think my advice would be that St. Louis is a lovely place to be. We are united, we are one, and as our motto goes, Saint Unum, ut Saint Unum, may they be one. So we stand for oneness, and this is the prayer of Christ, and Christ wants us all to be one as one people. So this message has to reach to the ends of the whole world, and so we need more young ones to join us, St. Louis Sisters, to carry this message, to bring Christ to the people and also the people to Christ in our ministry, standing as one people and bringing this oneness into reality. And also we stand to build on just structures, so we need more of them to help this vision to be realized.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a lovely way to end the interview, and I hope there isn't too much loud sound of all the children playing. The chainsaw thankfully stopped.
Yes.
But then the children came out to play. So, but it's been a wonderful interview, and Jackline, thank you so much. And I want to put it on the record, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well over the last couple of weeks.
You're welcome.
So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you too.